Okay, hi readers. We are going to read from Time for Kids. We are reading an informational piece about ancient Rome. We're going to read about a particular building or structure that was very popular in ancient Rome. If you read Under the Sea with me, you know that the word ancient means a very, very long time ago and not existing today. So this ancient structure was built a very long time ago, and it's not used for its original purpose today. It's used as almost like a museum. People go visit it and learn about what it was like in the past, but nothing happens there except people looking around and learning about the past. So let's look at the cover of the magazine here. And here's the title here in these outlined words. Let's read this together. Ready? Read with me. Then and now. I'm going to keep reading. Compare an ancient stadium with a modern one. Now, do you know what compare means? Compare means to find what is the same and what is different about something. So we're going to read about what is the same about an ancient stadium, an old one, with a modern one. Modern means very recent or currently happening, of current times. So we're going to compare the old with the new. I'm going to zoom in and read that caption way down there. So this is the old stadium. A stadium is a place where sports happen. You might have been to a stadium before. Ready? Read with me. The Colosseum is an ancient stadium in Rome, Italy. Italy is a country in Europe, and Rome is a big city in Italy. I'm going to turn the page. I'm going to zoom out again so you can see everything. Now look at this one. Do you think this is a modern stadium or an ancient one? It's modern. It's new. It was built recently. What about this? Does this look modern, new, or ancient? Ancient. Yep. And then also, before we read the text, I want you to look at these two. I want you to compare. This is an illustration, and this is a photograph taken today. What is this saying about these two? So yeah, one is a drawing and one's a photograph, but this shows what the Colosseum looked like in ancient times. It's an illustration, a replication. It doesn't look like this anymore. This is what it looked like when all of the walls were up. See how this wall doesn't go all the way around? And then see how this is flat here? But here it's not flat, is it? So this is what it looked like in ancient times if you were actually there. This is what it looks like now. I'm going to start reading. I'm going to start with the title. You could also call it the heading, and then I'll read the subheadings or subtitles. Okay, let me zoom in so you can see the words. You can read with me if you would like. Ready? Read with me. Changing times. Rome is an ancient city. It is in Italy. Sports were a big part of life in ancient Rome. So when the author is saying that Rome is an ancient city, it became a busy, thriving, bustling city a very, very long time ago. Now it has changed, but this city became a city a very, very long time ago. Sports are still important to Romans. Compare how Romans watched sports in the past with how they watch them now. So remember, we're comparing the old with the new. Some things will be the same in our comparison and some things will be different. Ready? Read with me. Ancient Rome. The Colosseum was built 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago. That's such a long time ago. Notice that this word Colosseum has a capital C at the beginning of it. That is the name of this stadium. Okay, read with me. Romans went there to watch gladiator battles. Gladiators were trained fighters. Okay, so what did people go watch? They watched fights, but think of it like boxing or wrestling. If you've ever seen that on TV, or like wrestling, they have that for kids and at high schools. So that's the way I think of it. That's me making a comparison between the old sport of gladiator battles and newer sports like wrestling or boxing. Read with me. They wore armor and fought with swords. Okay, that is different from what we would do now. We would not watch people do that for sport. Sport is a game, it's for fun. Armor is protective suiting. So like on their chest, they had something made with metal. That was their armor, and it protected them from getting very hurt. To make another comparison, now kids that play physical sports like this wear padding, knee pads, elbow pads, helmets. That's their armor. It's not made of metal, but it still protects them. Okay, and they keep reading. They were heroes to their fans. Beneath the arena were passages, that means hallways. Wild animals were kept there. Sometimes gladiators fought them. Have you ever seen bullfighting or heard of that? That's a comparison that we can make. I'm going to read this caption now. Ready? Read with me. This drawing shows the Colosseum long ago. The photo shows its ruins today. So part of it has been ruined, and this is what it looked like a long time ago. Do you see the passages? Do you remember what's down there? They put wild animals down there. And then here you can see almost like a stage where they would have covered that up. And there are the people walking in to see what it looks like. Okay, so that was all old, but you heard me make many comparisons between old and new. So this, of course, is modern. Let's go ahead and go down here and read about modern Rome. This stadium, I'll read it to you. Take a look at Stadio Olimpico. Romans watch soccer here today. So this is not called Colosseum, it's Stadio Olimpico. Modern Rome. You can follow along with me if you want, or just listen. Here I go. Romans today enjoy soccer. The sport is known there as football. That just means that in their language, the sport's football, not our football. And it makes sense, doesn't it? Because you play soccer with your feet. So it's called football over in Italy. Games are played in a giant stadium. The Stadio Olimpico holds thousands of people. Rome has two soccer teams. They are rivals. That means they're from opposite sides. Kind of like Battleground and Prairie are rivals. They're opposite sides. Players charge up and down the field. They shoot for a goal. Fans cheer and wave flags. They sing songs. To them, the soccer players are heroes. So notice the author just made a comparison there. In ancient old Rome, the gladiators were heroes. And in modern Rome, the soccer players are heroes. I think the author did a great job explaining similarities and differences to us between the old and the new. And now on the back, we're going to just find some things from the past. And you and I might make our own comparisons. So here you see these like artifacts, really old things, right? They look really old. And these are pieces of the past. I'll zoom in and I'll read to you. You can follow along if you want to. Here I go. What was life like in ancient Rome? In many ways, it was like our life today. So we're going to compare and find out the similarities. Here are some objects that have survived. What do they tell you? What's that look like? Dice. We play with dice now. What does that look like? Money. Okay, people in ancient Rome played games. They used dice like these. These dice are made of ivory. Look at that. It almost looks exactly like our dice, except to compare, what's different? What's different about our dice now? Well, our dots are usually a different color than the dice. They probably didn't have the option to do that back then with a different material to stamp a different color on there. I love it when Time for Kids makes a bold word a label or a caption, but also part of the sentence. So let's read this. Romans shopped at markets. They paid for things using metal coins. And we do that too. I mean, that almost looks like a dime, a 10-cent piece. That looks like a quarter. That's kind of funny. Hold on. I want to go down to this section. Well, I'll read it right here. That was kind of funny, huh? Here we go, ready? Read with me. Children wrote on waxed tablets. They used a stylus. The flat end was used to rub out mistakes. So we use tablets now, but they're electronic, not waxed. And if you have an iPad or some people have a Chromebook that you can touch, and we use a stylus, it's kind of like a pen, makes a mark on the surface. Okay, now I'm going to read the last two sentences by this thing that looks like a vase. Here I go. Romans buried the ashes of the dead in urns. This urn is made of marble. And some of us do that now too. When maybe a great-grandparent dies, people might put the ashes of their body in a special vase, and it serves as a memorial, a way that we can remember the people that we loved. Okay, so we just read a lot of really cool things about ancient Rome and compared what life was like a very long time ago in ancient times and what it is like in modern times. And there are many similarities, aren't there? Some differences, but many similarities. Okay, thank you for reading with me. Remember, you can download this on your own and read it anytime you want to. You have to go to the Time for Kids website to do that. Nice job comparing the past and the present. I will see you next time.